After endless hours, guys, I finally got the LG C1 to the right to surpass the Samsung S95B in terms of color. And I wouldn't say all the colors, but definitely in a lot of them, as you'll see in this example in this video. If you want these settings, they will be available after this video. I should be making the members only video and it'll be uploaded there. You can join by hitting the join button or reach out and I'll just shoot you a link and then there you go. You'll be able to access it. But what I've accomplished is truly mind-blowing. Now, I do want to throw out there that I am a master calibrator. I am not a normal, regular, run-of-the-mill, we only go off of numbers kind of calibrator. So what you're looking at right now to the right on the LG C1 is only possible if you know how to go beyond reference, working with extended color spaces like BT 2020. With SDR content. That's what I've done here, and that's why it looks so incredible. But I want to share this with you because this really is like one of those things that most people aren't expecting. And one of my biggest missions for this was like, you know, I know for a fact we can get the LG C1 to look a lot better if we put in a lot of time. And I sat here for, honestly, I'm not even joking, probably like closer to 18 or 19 hours, like really using the Samsung as a reference monitor and going back and forth with multiple types of content across multiple kinds of, you know, I mean, just levels of brightness and all this other stuff. Like, it was crazy, right? And we finally got it. And then I showed my wife and she comes in and she looks at it, she goes, whoa, you really did that quickly. You know, because we were expecting it to be done, you know, 3 days from now, 4 days from now, but we really got it done. And I really want to show you guys, like, now there are some things that the LG can't accomplish, and I'll vocalize that, but I want to show you its final form, and I'm so excited to share this with you. Okay, so first things first, explosions are way better on the LG. The color cyan is way better on the LG. These are things I think you can see immediately. Now, what really shocked me is that the color red actually got a lot closer to the quantum dot color, which is huge because quantum dot has been struggling, or not struggling, has been like known for being like really vibrant, where WOLED has been known for like really struggling with the color red. We got it a lot closer and it looks really incredibly vibrant. And I mean, just looking at this image, you can tell. Now, one of the things that like Samsung has over the LG, you probably can't see it, but if you look here, we're gonna show you like right here along this building, you can see a level of sharpness that just isn't there counteractively on the C1 over here. The C1 just looks more blurry by comparison. There's nowhere near the level of detail in each brick or depth or stuff like that. So the real contrast enhancements coming off of the Samsung S95B are like beyond anything the C1 is putting out. It just is. Like as I look at it with my naked eye, like even as we look up into like the rocks in this section, every little rock is outlined and all that. The character depth, like you wouldn't believe. We're on here, not so much. But we were after colors, and I think we got the colors where we wanted them to be. If we take a look at this particular example, you guys can see more of what I'm talking about. The color cyan almost explodes off of the LG C1. And we can see that in pretty much everything, but the big thing here is around Amber Heard's face. Now, before anyone gives me flack for using Amber Heard, I use this example because it's one of the best examples of cyan reproduction on skin tones that I've probably ever seen in a film. So that's why I use this. It's not like me taking anyone's side with what's going on right now, so please do not bring that into this. But what I will say is, as I look at it with my naked eye and as I look on the camera, it's like incredible, like tons and tons and tons of vibrancy. Now, that's not to say the Samsung S95B is bad at all. As you guys can clearly see, it's beautiful. It's a glorious image. But when you really sit there with the C1 and you really almost kill yourself with how hard you work on it, you can draw out that extra color. And again, the color red is not very far off. Like it's off, don't get me wrong. The color red that I'm getting over here is just so much more vibrant and lifelike. I do see that. But the C1 though is producing a really competent image here. Now here is where things started getting fun for me, because now I start to see the depth come way far out on the LG C1. I mean, look at all of this right here. I mean, dude, he looks 3D. It's like wild. Like when I did this comparison before, that was already rocking beyond reference calibrations. That was already like, you know, I gave it my sauce, right? And like that, like, dude, to see how far you can push it when you go at it with the mission of, I don't care about reference accuracy. I don't care like about any kind of industry standards. Let's make this thing look like a quantum dot OLED and essentially create your own LUT for the TV, if you will. This is what it looks like. And boy, let me tell you, like, it slaps. It's like a different tier of LG. Like, it doesn't even look like an LG OLED anymore. Like, it literally is right there next to the hottest thing out there, Quantum Dot OLED, and look at it. It's holding its own so incredibly well. Now, unfortunately, I can't resolve every single issue. So one of the weaknesses of a WOLED is the color reproduction of yellow particularly. And as you can see, if you look very carefully, the yellow around the trident here does have a little bit more of a greenish hue to it. So you can't necessarily defeat every, detractor or negative thing. But in terms of the overall initial impression, depth, pop, and wow look factor, you've kind of got it all. Almost immediately when you look at the image, you've really got to sit there and look at it to notice that the yellow is worse. But it is definitely worse, and that is something that I did want to at least tell you guys. Now, this will be almost impossible to showcase, but I will do my very best. So I have this frame paused in Horizon Forbidden West, and you can clearly see like the colors on the C1 are just popping. Now, again, this is something that you have to be willing to go beyond reference to be able to achieve. I can't, again, stress that enough, but you can do it. I want to let this play out, and you can kind of see, even when we get to some of the warmer portions of the screen, like as far as like the style, the art style, like when you get into those browns and those deeper, richer colors that normally turn like a bluish color on OLEDs, you're seeing it go toe-to-toe with the Quantum Dot OLED. I mean, not every scene is going to show you that on camera, because sometimes the camera interprets certain levels of blue or certain levels of green as like blue and whatever else. But like, I'm telling you, man, like they are so incredibly close now. It's ridiculous. And it's great because like you're able to see just how wonderful both TVs are looking after this adjustment. And the purpose of this is, again, to show you like, you absolutely can get extremely close. Look at that. I mean, like, that's so close to the Quantum Dot red that we have to the left. I mean, if you look at the wristbands and you look at all the stuff the Warriors are wearing, they almost look like for like they look so similar right now. And that's the thing. The similarities coming off of these two displays right now, it's surprising, frankly, because, you know, you're going to watch every single AV YouTuber kind of have the same impression I did at first, where it's like, hey, listen, this is way beyond anything WOLED is capable of. But you know, I truly pride myself as being the best TV settings creator, period, like on this earth. But again, that means like I'm gonna challenge myself even. So for that, I was like, hey, if I'm this good, then how about we get the Quantum Dot OLED look on the LG? And well, here we are. I mean, dude, look at that. That was incredible. Like when bro, you have to understand, we're talking about a WOLED right now, and everybody is having this problem where they can't necessarily get the same level of image quality as the Quantum Dot OLED. Look at her face, man. Dude, the warm tones coming off of her skin tones are like so much like better right now. You probably can't see it, but they're better on the C1 than they are on the Samsung, which before it was the total reverse. Now again, this was done after like 19 hours. Now, I'm gonna be very real with you. I don't know very many people that are gonna put that kind of time into their TV. So maybe this is a fun, novel video to watch. But I mean, look at how close, truly close they get when you go well beyond reference. And this is why I'm always preaching about going beyond reference, because it's more than a catchphrase or a tagline. It's to tell you, like, if you're serious about your image quality and you mean what you say when you say, like, I am a connoisseur of picture quality, there can be no doubt that the only way to get the best picture quality is to really start pushing these TVs beyond what people are telling you is the reference standard, because they don't work on today's displays. If I were to go with today's display and I was to show you what it looks like when you go with a generic, industry accurate look, this is what it would look like. This image will show you exactly what I'm talking about. If we look to the left, we can see all the colors in the world on the Samsung S95B, and man, is it truly glorious. If we look to the right, not so much. It's pukey, they're washed out. I mean, I don't even know what that's supposed to be, quite frankly, but that's the look of the Samsung, or rather the LG C1, if you go with a reference accurate look. Now, some find it okay and doable, but I find that you lack a lot of the nuanced colors, like that extra glow in Bakugo's hair, and just that extra intensity that gives things life, like that glow that's supposed to exist around the fire that frankly doesn't really exist to the same level as it does on the Samsung S95B. Now, let me show you what it looks like when you go beyond reference. And just like that, the Samsung is getting destroyed. The LG is now running away with the victory, full steam ahead, more or less, as I look at it with my naked eye. It's incredible that I'm actually seeing this play out the way that it is. Now, I'll be very clear. The Samsung doesn't look ugly. It doesn't look bad. But what LG is capable of doing, because of that hue, saturation, and luminance slider, just gives it the extra edge that Samsung can't get to. And now, one of the things that I really, really love about both of these TVs is that, again, they both look excellent, and it will give you a look depending on what you're looking for. Like right now, the clarity is still all the more there on the Samsung. So you're going to experience a world of clarity that doesn't exist on the LG. That's just a victory you're just going to have to accept the Samsung's going to continue to have. But I mean, look at the color coming off of the LG. If you told me right now, both of these TVs sitting here are quantum dot OLEDs, I'm pretty sure you'd believe it, or I'd believe it. I mean, really, the quantum dot OLED to the left, regular WOLED to the right. I mean, just look at it. When you go beyond reference, using particularly BT 2020 color space for SDR content, you are able to shatter the synapses, break through anyone's expectations for what WOLED can do, getting it a lot closer to what quantum.OLED is doing as far as what Samsung is offering, and you're seeing it. You're seeing it here in real time. So all in all, I think you guys get the idea. The WOLED can get extremely close to quantum.OLED, and I finally did succeed at pretty much creating that doppelganger kind of look. Now, to be very clear, I was using the Samsung S95B as a reference monitor and going back and forth between a bunch of different content pieces. And again, it took about 19 hours to pull this off. This is not a normal thing, and most people probably will not be able to do something like this because, again, it requires going well beyond reference standards. But that being said, you probably won't have to do that if you want to join. Grab that membership link below, and you'll be able to look at the C1 like I'm seeing here. But either way, I mean, both are incredible TVs. But I will not lie, it does have me looking at my C1 in a new light. And it kind of begs the question, I won't lie. If the C1 can get this freaking close, I mean, does the Samsung S95B still have value? For most people, the answer will probably unequivocally be no, considering the 55-inch LG C1 that I have here these days is going for like $1,099 to like $1,100. So yeah, it probably maybe won't hold so much value anymore for a lot of people, this Samsung S95B. However, if you like clarity and you like the just ridiculous vibrancy behind colors, you like exploding 1500 nits of peak brightness on perfect black, then of course, with excellent motion, this is going to have a bunch of stuff that offers you great internal speakers, great game features. I mean, really, solar powered remote. It has a lot that it offers. And if you like those luxury features, then of course go for the extra markup. But you know, if you're a little bit more price conscious, then look at the image that I have right now and tell me you don't want that. I mean, for $1,100, you know, it's pretty incredible. And I want to share that with you guys. And again, the reason I make these videos is to show you what these TVs are capable of. I love pushing the boundary of display science and really defying the established order of things and showing you what the realities could really be if we are creative and we really hold all the content creators accountable for this kind of stuff and say, hey, listen, you know, we've got to start forcing BT 2020 as a topic on SDR, because when you do that, these TVs start changing dramatically into something that most people could never even think that these TVs were capable of. Your TV right now, sitting on your credenza right now that has BT 2020, would show you a whole new world of color if you knew how to work with BT 2020. And that's the message for today. It's a wonderful tool that really changes the game for everyone here. So I wanted to show you guys that yet again, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later.